Bands of every size, shape, and description. And here they are. Now, I know what you're all thinking. You don't see any nightingales or flying bands or 25-inch men. But like I told you, Barnum's my name and miracles are my game. And they're all up there. You can mark my word. Excuse me, where are you going?
Home.
But I got a point of view to expound, defending the noble art of humbug.
Which I happen to be in disagreement with, as it is no more than a shoddy defense of flim-flam, so it doesn't behoove me to stick around.
All right, then go. One small voice can quite easily be ignored.
Good day, Mr. Barnum.
Of course, it doesn't help any if that one small voice happens to belong to your wife. Cherry Barnum, I'll have a kiss before you leave.
With pleasure, Mr. Barnum. You may not make much sense, but you're beautiful.
In the main ring, ladies and gentlemen, the fight to the finish, the struggle of humbug versus truth, flim-flam versus fact, Mr. Phineas Taylor Barnum versus his good wife, Cherry.
The fact is, my wife is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Give her a mess of hard facts and she's happy as a clam. Serve her up just a bit of fancy and she turns her nose up like it was yesterday's fish. But whether you think humbug's a blessing or a curse, you're still gonna buy it. Why? Because every 60 seconds in this world a delightful phenomenon occurs which absolutely guarantees it. There is a sucker. It's time to get second hands to the top like that and rise up above something I so want. On a fine baloney with no tooth in it. Fly you well, fly you to my lord. 'Cause there's a show some more of it. And I'm referring to the minute. If I allow it right here in my hand, the simplest human man, the sight of that is surely worth a dime. If I possess an educated person straight against the jingle for a better way to waste a bit of time. If I had known that monument as a lady fares, that was the crossing over the reasons it's for read up for all circles we didn't see. And with the buck mining all you say that's hard was well who cares? You'll buy my heart as long as there's a sucker. Every minute, each time that second man shoots from the top like that moonlight, they come in something I so wide and all right away. Just let me spin it, and ain't no man can just me wait and see. 'Cause there's a sure shooting so all in a minute. Friends, this one, that's good is.
Here it is in Mr. Webster's dictionary. Humbug, something designed to deceive or mislead.
That's what comes out of marrying a school teacher. They always go straight to the books. Jerry, I'm talking about rosy possibilities. The kind of humbug that bunch of pilgrims sold themselves when they set sail on the Mayflower. The dream, Jerry.
Mr. Webster gives this nice synonym for humbug too. Lies. Now, don't give up, Taylor. The evening's still young. We've still got a lot of rosy possibilities.
End of our ring, humble beginning, as Mr. Phineas Taylor Barnum turns out to go quicker than you can say George Washington. I'm telling you, they came by the thousands in Philadelphia, Mr. Barnum. Now here's all the papers you'll need. Birth certificate, bill of sale, rights and testimony, proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that on June 15th, Joyce Pett will be 160 years old.
She better be, Mr. Lyman. It's taken every cent that I have to buy this contract. But from now on, P.T. Barnum presents Joyce Head, the oldest woman alive.
She'll make your fortune, Mr. Barnum.
Well, Joyce, we better get to work if we want to eat tonight. Step right up close and see Joyce Head, the oldest woman alive. Only 10 cents to see her. You do too much to see Joyce Head, over 6 years old. Anyway, would you like to see Joyce Head? No game, would you? I just don't understand, Joyce. They came by the thousands in Philadelphia.
And what? By the thousands, you
Just say.
I said, what's so special about an old lady?
Oh, what a special old lady.
Mr. Barnum, what you looking at?
I'm looking at a nurse about 100 years ago. You got this baby bouncing on your knee. George Washington.
I don't know no people named Washington.
George Washington, the father of our country.
I says I don't know any.
Joyce, that sidewalk looks awfully hard to sleep on. And I'd say there's a fair chance of rain tonight. Maybe even hail.
What'd you say the boy's name was?
George Washington.
Why, you mean little Georgia? Well, I pretty near raised that
All right, let's do this. Step up, folks, and see Joyce at George Washington's
boy.
nurse.
When it's in shape, the world is in. When the way it is, what it's been. When folks is never gold, they've got that mood. When you hear the gander and the news, when you hear the language people use, when those sweet songs are sung, I don't wanna be young. Daddy tied me, doesn't friend me, should he spy me? That don't upset me, let him eye me, come and get me, that's fine by me, it's not working me. When you see the way kids behave, when it's the good that they crave, when kids are much too old, they got at home, when they're in the weaving, left alive, when they take a free with out of life, they don't let them we're home, I don't wanna be him.
All right, maybe I misled just a bit. Those folks went opening and they shook the hand that held the rosy bottom of the father of our country. And that's a patriotic humbug and there's nothing better. Anyway, now that Joyce was a success, I started hiring some other attractions. And I was gonna need some place to put them.
That's right, Mr. Barnum. I'm looking for a partner to run the American Museum, but I don't want to turn it into no sideshow.
I couldn't agree with you more, Mr. Scudder. That's why I intend on filling all 5 floors of this museum with only the most educational attractions imaginable. And just to help you make up your mind, may I present you with this courtesy ticket, entitling you and a friend to 2 free admissions upon payment of 1/2 the regular price on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday between the hours of 12 noon and 1 p.m. So is it a deal?
Taylor Barnum, did you or did you not have an appointment to take me to lunch at 1 o'clock sharp? It is now past 2:14.
In the near ring, as Mr. P.T. Barnum faces the most ferocious of all jungle beasts. The female of the species has been kept waiting for over 1 hour and 14 minutes.
Darn it, Scudder, I thought I told you to tell me when it was 1 o'clock. No excuses, just run along and I'll meet you and the builders at 2:40. Oh, I'm so sorry, Cherry. I don't know why I ever chose him as a partner. He's so forgetful. A perfect example of a marital humbug. The trouble is with my wife, it never works.
Hogwash, Taylor. I believe you forgot that appointment all by yourself. Now, I happened to pick up some packets over at the Women's Emporium, so I thought we might lunch there.
Cherry, you can't get lunch at that place, but McNally's Oyster House is
Let's
right.
leave it up to the fates. Tells McNally's heads to the Women's Emporium.
I'll toss if you don't mind.
Go ahead, Taylor. That shall be 100%. Here it is, Mrs. Barnum, our new pamphlet all about the Stanton Act.
The state of New York now guarantees a woman the right to make her own business and legal decisions.
What do you think of that, Mr. Barnum?
I'm all for it, 100%. As long as she asks her husband first.
Now, tell me, Taylor, who this new partner of yours is?
Oh, yes, Cherry, that was Mr. Amos Scudder. Him and me are going to rebuild the American Museum.
With what? We haven't $100 in our name.
Brass and a bit of humbug. You'd be surprised how often it's just as good as silver or gold.
Schemes again, Taylor. Schemes and dreams.
That's my nature, Cherry. I told you that I was a dreamer the first night that I met you.
Taylor Barnum, when a girl meets a man in the middle of the worst thunderstorm of the summer, with bolts of lightning jumping off of every tree and barn in sight, and thunder nearly so loud it scares you out of your wits, she don't pay much mind when he happens to mention he's a dreamer. I'm not saying you shouldn't have dreams, Cherry. Just let them be sensible and reach.
Cherry, I want to excite people, stir them up, give them a glimpse of a miracle.
I don't mind you using the imagination the good Lord gave you. But with 2 children to bring up, you ought to be using it for more sensible things. Now, I happen to know Mr. Chance Jerome's looking for a partner over at the clock factory. I could be a part of it, Taylor. Come, keep the letters, write the account.
Cherry, I just can't do it. Tick-tock, tick from 10 to 6 every day, with only an occasional bong to break the monotony of 6,000 cuckoos. Every man has his temperament, Cherry, and mine's just not suited to tick-tock, cuckoo, and bong.
I'm sorry, Taylor. I shouldn't have brought it up.
Of course you should have, Cherry. That's half of a wife's job, bringing up things her husband doesn't want to hear. Cherry, a clockworks just isn't the right color for you. Just say the name, Bridgeport Clockworks, and what do you see? Gray and brown. Or walk into any sideshow and get Kelly green and buttercup yellow and cherry red. And it's like living inside of a giant pinwheel. And it's not just for my own selfish pleasures. I need all of them colors, Cherry. I want to splash them out for the entire world to see. The colors of my life are blue and gold. The purple of indigo, the gleam and green of gold, the splendor of a sunrise, the dazzle of a flame, the green of a rainbow. I put them all to shame. The white, browns, and grays, I'll take my days instead. Have them until they overflow with rose and cherry red. And should this sunlit world grow dark one day, the colors of my life will leave a shining light to show the way.
That's well and good, Mr. Barnum, but your reds and greens aren't going to be much help if you want to get those builders started.
Good Lord, it's nearly 2:40. Now, Jim, you wait right here and I'll meet you 5 minutes, maybe 10. Okay, half an hour at the most. Okay, look, if I'm not back by 6, just come over to the museum. It's on Ann Street in Broadway. You'll know it by the sign. The red one with purple trim and gold letters that says Barnum's American Museum. The splendor of a sunrise, the dazzle of flame, the glory of a rainbow. I'd put 'em all to shame.
It's your own fault, Charity Barnum. If you ask yourself a few logical questions before you marry, you would have put a healthy distance between yourself and a
it was worth it. Look at everything that I gave you. A lot of Roman terracotta. The plates of it. Harry, right from Harry, you see the double top of the fence. Magnolia, back the back of the
Mr. Barnum! There's 5,000 emissions in one day!
What, 5,000?
Yes! Only no one's going out. What are we gonna do?
Put that slide I had printed out on the back of the press to the ears. It's just another fancy word for exit.
But no one will know what it means.
Will when they get out of farm. That's the health and education humbug. They learn a word and they get some fresh air.
A hot salad? That's so expensive.
While I have Roman terracotta, they're not from the place of Edna. Sanctuary, right over there, he sees on the top of the red steam park. And you're a city in the land, you're looking for a second and for a hundred. Going to his one, he's showing you wrong, you'll borrow the rest of the Delaware. Under the last, back the last. Sickness, suicide, no spite, no crystal, broken, honest, loving, beautiful, shall the work so hard. What do you want to say to the photos?
Turn around until I'm ready. Okay, now.
Good Lord, they're real. What's the man done?
Foolish thing, Cherry. Maybe a hard-headed, cold-eyed, tough-talking New England lady who's kept my crazy wolf from going up in smoke for 14 years. Happy anniversary.
I might have been foolish enough to marry you, Taylor, but I can't count, and our anniversary isn't for 6 months.
Oh, I'm talking about the museum, Cherry. Or did you forget that we opened our doors to the public exactly 1 year ago today? Now put on your silks and satins because I intend on taking you, me, and those pearls out to celebrate tonight in New York City.
I'm sorry, Mr. Barnum, but the food's too rich, the people too fancy, and I don't even want to discuss the prices.
Now, little humbug number 2, the carrot and club principle. It never fails. Now, see here, Cherry, I got to be the prettiest wife in the state of Connecticut. It's my God-given right to show her off if I want to. So if you don't go upstairs and put on your best dress at once, then certain very costly anniversary gifts may have to be returned. Well, it almost never fails. Cherry Barnum, what am I going to do with you?
Put up with me, Taylor, same as I do with you.
We're out of step. We disagree. What's right for you is wrong for me. Together we're upon a country mile. But I like your style. I like your style.
We disagree. What's right for you is wrong for me. When I propose, then you protest. What's not divide, you just exist. Too sweet for everywhere.
Too sweet a right to ever reconcile. Well, I like your style.
No shouts or quarrels, no blows or tears. One simple fuss to dissect and discuss for the next
100 years.
I'll change my dress. But it isn't to show off these fancy pearls to your fancy New York friends. It's because I'm still in love with you, you great fool. And I want one of your damn marital humbugs to succeed.
Cherry, I've never tried to humbug you. I'm shocked that you're even mentioning such a thing.
Mr. Barnum.
Now, Scudder, can't you see I'm trying to lie to my wife? What the devil brings you out here at this time of night anyhow?
A fire. Mr. Barnum. At the museum.
What?
No. No use of going down there. There's nothing left. I'm sorry, Mr. Barnum.
Mr. Scudder, I hope I'm being humbugged right now.
Alas, Mr. Barnum, you never taught me how.
Now, Taylor, I tell you right now, I don't intend on dancing any gallops. I still haven't had time to change my petticoat. Taylor.
Evening's off, Cherry. There's no use in celebrating the anniversary of the museum that's burned down. And, you know, maybe that's a good thing after all. I mean, you were right. The place was nothing but a darn sideshow anyhow.
That museum was absolutely splendid, and I won't listen to anything to the contrary. New York's not the only place to make a living, you know. Why, right here in Bridgeport, you could
Darn
have...
it, Cherry. If you hadn't come through with the solution, there is an entire country out there. Why, here I am my entire life, piddling my life away in the corner of Ann Street and Broadway, when there's an entire 24 states that's never even heard of P.T. Barnum. I'll build a new museum and I'll put it on wheels.
I wasn't speaking of any 24 states, Taylor. Mr. Chauncey Jerome is...
Bring a little red and gold to the entire country. Now all we need is a bit of capital and a headlining attraction to pull them all in. And since it was your idea in the first place, I'm putting Frontline on every advertisement, entire tour under the personal direction of Mr. and Mrs. P.T. Barnum. Oh, you are in this with me, aren't you, Cherry?
Well, I'm not 100% in accord, Taylor.
Then everything's all right. We're quarreling again. Now I have to run. I can't help it. I gotta find that headlining attraction. So you just keep on dancing, and I'll be back in 2 shakes.
And now, an excellently embellished exaggeration, as Mr. P.T. Barnum tries to create a giant star from a miniature muse.
A boy only 25 inches tall from head to toe. Now all we need to do is to find a special name, something to go along with the miracle of a size. Thumb. Tom Thumb. Now, you know what? Sounds a bit skimpy to me. What we need is a handle to go with it. Sir Tom Thumb. No, not quite. The Right Honorable Tom Thumb. You know, that's just stupid. Something with a touch of military. Captain Tom Thumb. Almost. Oh, I got it. General Tom Thumb.
From the great city of Philadelphia, the world's smallest man as you've never seen him before, General Tom Thumb!
I'm General Thumb, just come to town, a Yankee Doodle dandy. I ate your scrapple, washed it down with just a nip of brandy. The mayor made me presents rare, the ladies did salute me. First rate I am, they all declare, and all my poses suit me. My success should open up your eyes. Don't judge nothing, just my shape or size. Bigger is better, taller is braver, stronger isn't always wise. Smaller is necessarily the lesser, that's to come in any size. Ladylike and fever, just a little shaver, over 6'3". Great penny tussle, knocks the floor with muscle, bet you like a flat-eyed me. One strong and full frame and a long, big brain and heart. That handsome hunk might be a real amusement, prove consequently. Always shows your shoulders, twice as big as boulders, if the brain's tiny bee. When you're in a pickle, he ain't worth a nickel. Bet you like a flat-eyed. Bet you like a flat-eyed me.
Once again in the center ring, as Mr. P.T. Barnum faces the female species with unheard of, unexpected, alarming results.
Stuff and nonsense, Taylor. Tom Thumb may be the smallest man on earth, but you managed to tell some pretty tall tales about him. He's not a general, and his name's no more Thumb than mine is.
I call that trimmings, Jerry.
If you want to be a part of the exhibition business, at least find yourself a respectable attraction.
Mr. Barnum, all my congratulations. Julius Goldsmith. We met last autumn in New York City and I caught your show here in Boston last night. Absolutely splendid.
Thank you very much, Mr. Goldsmith. Terry, you remember my mentioning Mr. Julius Goldsmith?
Of course. What brings you to town, Mr. Goldsmith?
I stopped off for a little visit before sailing off to England to sign up that Swedish girl who made up such a stir.
Jenny Lind. I read all about her. 2 command performances for the Queen.
Lind. Oh, Lind, of course. The India rubber lady who can tie a right arm into a knot.
Jenny Lind's an opera singer, Mr. Barnum, and her voice is the most glorious sound ever heard. But you'll get your chance to see for yourself when I present her first concert next fall to Castle Garden. Well, Mr. Barnum, gotta get started. That New York train blew a quarter of an hour. Mrs. Barnum, a great pleasure. I look forward to seeing the both of you in the fall.
What's the matter, Taylor?
Goldsmith's a nice fella, and I don't like to see him lose his shirt.
You don't think he'll be able to sign up Miss Lind?
That's just it. I'm afraid he will. And the New York public's not going to fill any hall just to hear a singer.
I'm not so sure you're right, Taylor. You heard what he said, 2 command performances. It's high time you find yourself an attraction like
Oh,
that.
don't get me started on that again. We're missing Chicago train. Besides, I wouldn't know how to begin.
Let's leave it up to the fates. Tell us we continue as we are. Heads, I run the Repertory, and you go off to England to make a deal with Mrs. Agents.
What? Cherry, what would I say to Mr. Goldsmith?
That your friend New York would never buy an opera singer, and you didn't want to see him lose his shirt.
I call that a lie, Cherry.
I call that trimmings, Taylor. Bon voyage, Mr. Barnum.
Mr. Barnum, this is uncharted territory.
I'm equal to it, and so are you.
Cherry, wait! It wasn't too late. I still could have changed my mind, missed the train, and followed Cherry west. But I didn't. I made the train, I made the boat, and I made the deal. Now I only had one thing left to figure out. Who the hell was Jenny Lind? Well, like that fellow Shakespeare said, what's in a name anyhow? It's titles at the moment. What's? I'll call her a scintillating Swedish songbird. No, I won't. The songbird who scintillates from Sweden. That's even worse. Oh, I've got it! The singing Swede! Unfortunately, Cherry had already printed out the handbills, so we were stuck with calling her the Swedish Nightingale. Well, you can't win them all.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time on these blessed shores, the world-renowned living statues. Due to the respectable nature of this attraction, Mr. Barnum's promotional campaign will avoid any sensational claims and rely upon the plain, unvarnished truth.
P.T. Barnum, Miss Lind, welcoming you on behalf of 1,230,000 citizens to the proud city of New York. Tell me, how was your crossing?
Vad säger ni?
Come again?
Fellow, min jag förstår inte det språk.
Did you understand in Swedish? No. Miss Lind, this here is the United States of America. We speak English.
Engelska?
Miss Lind, you have to give a concert on this stage.
En konsert?
In English.
I know once learned English.
You have no choice.
Choose.
Choice.
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 Yes, that's good.
Get.
Good.
Get.
Good.
Good.
Yes, that's good.
No good.
That's it. Good evening.
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 Evening, ladies.
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 Ladies and
Und.
and gentlemen.
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 No, gentlemen. You know what? That'll have to do, I suppose. Words they can't understand will pass off as European style. And don't forget to smile. There's one thing that no American can resist. It's the smile of a beautiful woman. No American man, anyhow. Oh, good luck.
Vad säger ni?
In English!
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Lind would like to dedicate her first performance in America to our new American friend.
I'm not which one to choose.
What strikes your fancy?
Very well. I choose a scholastic person. My English teacher.
Now, Miss Lynn, I am a bit of a
Taylor, the
confused-
carriage is waiting.
Just a minute, Jerry.
The mayor, he also asked to escort me.
Look, Miss Lynn,
Taylor, please hurry. I want to freshen up at the hotel before the reception.
I'm coming, Jerry.
Oh well, perhaps another time.
Cherry! Cherry, I got me a problem. The receipts, they've got to be counted again. The darn bookkeeper messed it all up, so you just keep on dancing. Now, you go on with the carriage, and I'll meet up with you as soon as I can.
This bookkeeping, could it be done tomorrow?
No, Cherry, it can't.
Well, I'll see you when I see you. Tonight was a great success, and I'm very proud of you. Good night, my darling. Good night, Miss Lynn.
Cherry, wait! Miss Lynn, well, damn it. Why shouldn't I take you to the reception? All my life I've been selling the dream to everybody else in the world. Isn't it time that I get a look at it myself? Out there somewhere, just out of sight, there's a world that's blazing with light. Each man alive got the right to straight, just the right from straight and narrow. Turning back to the highway bend, turning down the chance you're given, taking the step of a friend. How the hell can you call that living? Staying put in a fucking show. Is it really depressing habit? Does it ring like a carousel? And it's driving out there somewhere, just down the line, lies a world of glory and shine. One square foot, there's gotta be mine. Once in his life, every man decides. Once where he's down to the road divides. Once on a hill as the morning grows. Once if you will, you can see those fires glow. Flags streaming, spires glow, towers gleaming. And when the dawn is clear, the sky will sun forever. On the plain where spring all year, and the darker the night comes never. Somewhere out there, just out of sight, in that world that's blazing with light. Each man alive got the right, once in his life to forget the past, once in his life to behold at last, with his own to eye what lies out there.
Out of the tent, onto their ground. A musical salute celebrating Miss Lynn's 50th concert in America!
Come follow the band, wherever it's at. Let both feet beat, time to the drum, play the funk, go rat-a-tat. I'm throwing your hat, I'm throwing your hat.
go, go, beat, beat. Saxophone, hear your heart go, rat-tat-tat. I'll flag your hand.
Sir, it's nearly 6:15.
Damn it, Wilt. Don't I even get just one evening off?
Miss Lind asked me to remind you that the reception is at 7 o'clock sharp, and since President Fillmore's a stickler for punctuality.
All 6 months since this tour has been nothing but tea with the president, supper with the senator, reception with the chief justice. Where do they find the time to run the country? So I'll be well tonight for all this entire tour just to get away from them.
You don't need that, Mr. Barnum.
I do. Old Goldsmith's been after me to buy Miss Lynn's contract, and I have a good mind to sell it to her. It was fine in the beginning when we had to turn an opera singer into a Swedish nightingale, but now all I'm getting out of that bird is money, and it's not enough. It's my own damn fault. I've humbugged myself into thinking I needed some more colors in my life, and she humbugged me into being respectable. A miserable state of affairs as far as I'm concerned. So might as well be miserable being respectable with someone that I love.
But I thought you and Miss Lind.
So did I. But I was wrong. Look, you better send a wire to Mr. Goldsmith telling him that I'm leaving in New York the day after tomorrow. Oh, and send another one to Mrs. Barnum telling her if that coin comes up heads, I might just be in Bridgeport by the end of the week. This would be a waste of time. I know that. None of my female species doesn't seem to ever pan out. But I'm told of a dog not to try. I've never even heard such carryings on, and in public. It's a disgrace, if you ask me.
Phineas, are you muttering again?
What? Me? Absolutely not. I think muttering's the height of impoliteness.
Then I just ignored it.
Never mutter. I mean, I might sputter. I don't mutter. I have something to say that matters. I utter. I don't mutter. But it's still a damn disgrace.
I think I know what this is about. The way the French ambassador smiled at me the other day.
Wrong. What do I care if some weaselly-looking Frenchie smiles at me? It's the way that you smile back at him. One of your special number 2 trembly ones.
Phineas, I'm a soprano. And we flirt. The same way impresarios mutter. And what's sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander.
What are you talking about?
The letters.
What letters?
Long ones. Daily to a lady in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Now, if you're willing to give up these letters, I might be willing to give up my trembly smiles.
Jenny, I want you to know that how
It's been a lovely 6 months for us. Chagos cardinale tu doréant. In English, I want for you what you want for yourself.
very kind of you. Now I just gotta figure out what the devil it is that I want.
But at least we know what it isn't. As came on all my roses. When do you think you'll be leaving?
Suppose tonight's as good a time as any. Are you sure you'll be all right?
I'll be fine. I have an engagement with the French ambassador. Wise men and fools playing us games, bent to the same sweet treason.
Look at those figures that she played for St. Louis. They sold out a month before she even set foot in town. You're buying a song with Ellie's golden egg, Mr. Gordon.
I know that, Mr. Barnum. In fact, you might say I knew that long before you did.
I know. That's why I'm making you this tenor song. Only one reason. Miss Lynn never plays Bridgeport, Connecticut. Don't sell me any tickets. Done?
Done.
Cherry Barnum, what are you doing?
Picking up heads, and I still think you're beautiful.
Out of the tents after the show, without the benefit of Kelly Green, Buttercup Yellow,
shooting in the streets. I talk about the cuts and balance sheets. Oh, Cherry, I'm losing you. You've got to let me add some color to this campaign or they're going to beat me. Cherry, you've got to release me from my promise.
Go ahead, Taylor.
City Hall as long as I'm in office. How's that?
Thank you very much, Mr. Barnum.
You're entirely welcome, Mrs. Barnum. Impressive place, isn't it?
The most respectable looking building I've ever seen. And it belongs to you now.
You know, Cherry, looking at you smiling here in the dark reminds me of that night that I first met you in that thunderstorm. I know you were scared, but I kept wishing there'd be more lightning so I could get another look at your smiling face.
And I closed my eyes every time lightning flashed, so I never really did get a good look at yours. Until we were standing at the altar, and by then it was too late. Stop, Taylor. Folks are going to think we're foolish.
Why?
Because two old people on these steps in the middle of the night holding hands.
Cherry, you don't look a day older than the night that I took you home in that thunderstorm.
I thought you were through with Humbug.
Okay, 22 or 3 at the most. That's the least upbugging thing I've ever said in my entire life.
Going to be wonderful in politics, Taylor. Of course, I don't expect you to be mayor for more than one term. I already got my eye on the Senate seat, and not the state Senate either.
Cherry, you're talking about Washington.
Heads, set.
Deciding to run for the U.S. Senate's nothing you toss a coin over. It takes lots of pondering and considering and contemplating and... How come in 25 years of tossing, that coin never once came up tails?
I guess fate is just on my side, and it just so happens that that quarter just so happens to have 2 heads.
You stacked the deck, Cherry.
I haven't been watching you for 25 years for nothing, Taylor.
All right, I'll run for your damn Senate. Because I love you, and I will do anything in the world to make you happy. But you've humbugged me good and proper, and I am most displeased. Why are you smiling?
Everything's going to be okay. We're quarreling again. The colors of my life.
The colors of my life.
Are softer than a breeze.
Beautiful and hold. The glow of indigo. The gleaming green of gold.
The dappled green of trees.
The splendor of a sunrise. The dazzle of a flame.
Of a sea.
Free of a rainbow. I put them all to shame. The quiet browns and grays.
Reds are much too cold.
I'll take my names instead.
I find no worth.
And fill them till they overflow with rose and cherry red.
Colors of the earth.
And if from by by my side, my love should roam. Month after month of standing there right beside me, just as we're on the threshold.
The colors of my life will shine a quiet light to leading home.
So little time to tell you so many things I meant to. Where did the summer go? With still so much to say, songs that I meant to sing you, praises and pearls, to fling you, roses that I forgot to bring you. I still long to hold you, embrace you, and fold you. But somehow I never ever told you. Where did it go? This lifetime hurrying by. How did it fly away, leaving so little time to tell you so many things I meant to say. It took me, Cherry, 6 months of making speeches, and they take the nomination away from me with a lie worse than any humbug that I'd pulled in 35 years of fooling people. I thought I'd finally gotten it out of my life, but it turns out that if I don't humbug them, they're going to do worse to me. Cherry, tell the truth. Is humbug really that bad after all? I mean, look at them Rubens that came over on the Mayflower. They were humbugged with the dream of finding some sort of utopia. And that turned out pretty well. And Tom Jefferson and Ben Franklin, they humbugged with a dream of a country full of free and equal people. Of course, I'm not comparing the Declaration of Independence to live mermaids and four-headed frogs. But somewhere deep down in there's a connection. Well, how do you like that? I even lost my touch after all. Up here on a soapbox for only 2 minutes, and I've already convinced myself I'm first cousins with Tom Jefferson. Well, darn it, Cherry, don't that prove it? At humbugging, I'm the best that there is. The Prince of Humbug, balderdash, fiddle faddle, twiddle toss, twiddle twaddle, blather, boss and fill, and dollars, and double dutch, and flim flam. I am the king of hogwash. Tommy Rock, hocus pocus, scabble duff, hocus pocus, scabble duff, scabbing shut, and just a touch of white lie am I. Duke of Tripe and idle chat, Earl of Oil, Lord of Lack, Emperor of rigmarole, that I am, bless my soul. The Prince of Humbug, Tommy Rock, and jungle wild and guile and trumpery, that's me. In the world of sting and shock, this moment we spend down a road of ridge and rock till Lord knows what end. One night as cold as space and dark as the sea. Song's not a big like sugar
the greatest of them all, Mr. P.T. Barnum. Alone, unarmed, without a net, in a struggle to the finish with destiny.
Billy's the name, Mr. Barnum. I'm here for my 3:30 appointment.
I'm sorry, Bailey. I've given the matter a great deal of thought. I'm afraid that the answer is no.
Ah, Mr. Barnum. I sent those plans and photographs last week. Did you get a chance to see them?
I saw the photographs. And I must admit, your menagerie doesn't look too bad, but I've been out of the business for years, and I am not looking into getting back into it. Although I do have a bit of advice.
I welcome it.
You have to hook your attractions to the mood of the country. It's 1880. The show's good, but it's too small. There ought to be 10 elephants, 20 clowns, a family of jugglers, fat ladies, and 6 up on the high wire.
Impossible! Mr. Barnum, you can't fit all those acts into one ring.
I'll just put a couple of other rings on either side. Not to mention traveling grandstands, a band of 40 pieces, and a whole other separate tent for sideshows. Not to mentioning enough fabric to fit the entire Crystal Palace inside, and still have enough room left over to fly a kite.
The Crystal Palace, the Crystal Palace. Mr. Barnum, I hope I'm not being humbugged.
Mr. Bailey, whatever in the world would give you that idea?
Well, I must admit, it does sound good the way you tell it, but I need you. The circus needs you.
I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry.
When the pill the doctor gave you turned your cold to the room. When a stitches say 9 others comes apart the room. When the rats invade your ride and kids are leaving your ship. Follow my tip, come away on a trip. Just join the circus like you wanted to when you were a kid. Climb aboard before it moves on in you. Bet your lucky stars you did. Go to bed in Minneapolis, wake up in PA. Pack your roll, your brush and your comb again, ready to roam again, ready to stray. Bless your soul, you'll never go home again when the circus comes your way.
When your patches in your trousers and a hole in your purse. When your 9 to 5 is boring and your 5 to 9's worse. When you sneeze instead of bless you, you get cheers and a curse. Don't call the hearse while you still have the church.
Just join the circus like you meant to do when you were so high. Ditch your troubles under a tent and you're about to lose them by and by. Say so long to fair Schenectady, great sweet Santa Fe. Toss your hat, your cane in a sack again, shoulder your pack again, pitch up the shade, kiss the cat and never look back again when the circus comes your way.
When the lady you've been courting was your brother instead. When his honor gives you 30 days of water and bread. When your bank account's $1 million but it's all in the red. Don't lose your head, you just go to the bed.
I joined the circus like I did when I was a kid. Like the 44 time, and short like life that I did. Went to bed in Minneapolis, woke up in PA. Packed my robe, my brush and my comb again, ready to roam again, ready to stray. Bless my soul, I'll never go home again when the circus comes. Share the glad times and the woe with us. Pack your trunk and join the show with us. Go from Maine to Kokomo with us. Mr. Barnum, say you'll go with us.
All right. Damn it. Okay. Why don't we just leave it up to the enthusiasts? Tails is no.
Heads, let's hunt
Congratulations, Mr. Bailey. You have yourself a partner.
to the biggest show in the country.
The greatest show on earth. I joined the circus like I wanted to when I was a kid.
Climbed aboard before the dawn. Bet your life I'm glad I did. Went to bed in Minneapolis, woke up in PA. Packed my roll, my brush and my comb
Seth is long gone and forgotten. So's the American Museum, Jenny Lind, or Tom Thumb. And Rubens that came over the Mayflower all gone to dust. Tom Jefferson's memory, old Franklin's blowing his last kite. So I'm afraid that my kind of humbug has disappeared. Pity. There was a sucker born every minute. Each time that second hand swept to the top like dandelions up they puff. He's so big, I so wide and go up on the 5